My name is Dr. Oliver Degnan, and I'm a healthcare CIO with about an 8-year background in artificial intelligence. Started with my time as Senior Vice President and CTO for IBM Watson Health, where I was tasked to bring two platforms together and sprinkle some IBM Watson AI over it. So that's how I started out. And then over the past years, obviously AI became mainstream. I dug right into it. I've been in it ever since. So I thought I'm going to spend some time making it safe or helping you to feel a little bit better about AI and not be too scared about all of the news that we hear about AI and what have you. And a big portion of making it safe for yourself and the organization and your consumers, your customers, is leadership, right? So there's something that I started coining the algorithmic leader, or it actually comes from a book by Mike Walsh. But the AI leader, the algorithmic leader, is what I want to talk about, and how to help you, to help your organization to make it safe to buy into the journey of AI. So in a nutshell, there are two books, and there are lots of books out there. There's so much content out there already in AI, and it's easy to get confused. But the ones that I always come back are The AI Leader by Mark Munoz, who's the AI advisor to Harvard University. And then there's a book called The Algorithmic Leader by Mike Walsh. It's actually the Algorithmic Leader by Mike Walsh that on the very end of the cover, he actually listed 10 rules on how to survive and thrive in the algorithmic age of AI. So those are really good rules. We're not going to talk about them here, but definitely check it out. It's a really, really good book. It's worthwhile. So the leadership in the age of AI is different than the leadership we had in the industrial age or in the information age. We are now in the algorithmic age. And companies like Netflix or Spotify are somewhat of the front runners already when it comes to taking advantage and thinking algorithmic in the decision making. And that's really critical. So what movies to bring it? So which playlist should we show to the user? That is something that Spotify already uses machine learning to do so, right? So they use algorithms to engage with their clients out there. So it's critical to start thinking about harnessing the full potential of AI, harnessing the power of AI, right? But leaders need to do a lot more than that versus just the geek factor of what tools can they use, but really start exciting and equipping the organization with the right mindset in terms of what does it mean for us as an organization? How do we need to transform ourselves going forward to take full advantage of AI? And even it might start as AI being like a little sprinkle on top of your existing solutions. However, I could see a world where in a few years from now, AI might actually become the foundation of the organization, of the product offering out in the marketplace. And it's really hard, or it's getting harder these days to imagine new products without any AI in it. Matter of fact, it feels like every day there's a new palette of products coming into the marketplace right now with AI. So this will have a profound impact on organizations. Remember, just as it was with bring your own device or a smartphone into work, now we're bringing AI into work, right? And it took the organizations quite some time to deal with personal devices in the corporate setting. Same with AI. It will take some time, right? But we are finding ourselves in an era now of unprecedented opportunities when it comes to additional efficiency gains, innovation, and just speed to market and things like this. Leadership has a tremendous impact on the outcome of AI. So the three things I want to dive in a little bit deeper over the next 15 minutes is the fact that a lot of people are scared about AI. So and my notion is don't fear AI. Don't worry about this. I know there's a lot of conversations around data. Is your data safe? And we will talk about this in a minute from now. But there's other things. So will it replace your job and things like this? So don't fear AI. And then also from a leadership point of view, and the people you work with, make sure that there's a culture that is not afraid of promoting AI. Right? AI is like what we back in the days called a database or big data and these kind of things, right? We need to promote it, or cloud computing. It's just one of those things. So don't be afraid of promoting the AI culture. And what kind of culture do you actually need to have in order to thrive in the era of AI? And then also don't wait. AI has been here for quite some time. It kind of went mainstream a year ago. Companies like OpenAI with ChatGPT is the fastest software rollout in human history ever. When you look back at how long it took to roll out emails or chat clients for like whether it's Slack or it's Google Chat or even tools like Twitter and Facebook and things like this, it took many years for those tools to become adopted by the marketplace. With OpenAI, ChatGPT, it happened literally overnight. They onboarded so many users in just 1 year that is unprecedented and that the industry has not seen. And it would just continue like this. Quite amazing what's happening. So don't wait until somebody says, yes, it's really safe now. It's fantastic. Go ahead now, do it. Don't wait, because if you don't jump on AI now, you're going to be left behind. And the marketplace is telling us that. With that, let's talk about AI. I look at AI like ChatGPT, and we all heard about ChatGPT in the news for the past year now. I look at it as like a three-year-old child. Just like any child, it takes time for the child to grow up. And we teach we teach the children a lot of things. And then they go to school, they go to middle school, high school, then they go to college. And then by the time they're 25, 26, they have a lot of knowledge where when you ask them, well, tell me about X, Y, and Z, and they give you a quick answer, but they didn't really Google it, which is like, I call Google like the database. They didn't go somewhere. The knowledge was already there. And it turns out that we're actually providing AI a lot more data than what we're getting out of that. And I will demo that in a couple of minutes from now. And this is because AI needs to learn. It's a child, but it's also a child that grows up 25 years every 6 months. And that's the latest data I heard, which is quite amazing. So every 6 months, that child has grown 25 years. And by grown, new capabilities, new abilities, a lot of knowledge, because we're feeding this thing everything, right? And then we ask ChatGPT something, give me a recipe of whatever. And it gives you a recipe of something. But all that knowledge on how to do it was fed into ChatGPT over quite some time, right? But there are thousands of people behind the scenes that feed that. And now even AI now has the ability to kind of feed itself, so to speak. It just goes out and just takes all the information in. But we will talk about information accuracy in a second, which is a different story, right? But AI is about asking questions. The way we interface with AI is to ask it something, and then we get some response back. And then we engage with it again. We ask it more, just like a child, where we say, are you sure? Are you sure, Oliver, that is correct, right? So I want to have a recipe for soup. And I get a recipe, and I say, well, what about potatoes? There are no potatoes in it. And then it gives me another version of a recipe with potatoes. And you have to have a conversation with AI. That's how it works. This is different than accessing a database that already has the concrete information, right? So behind the AI engine, so it builds a neural network, and we'll talk about this in a second. But we actually give it, again, more information than what we're getting out of it. And the interface we have with AI is more on a cognitive basis. We kind of give it feedback. We have to let it know that it's getting onto the right direction. We're on the right track with the conversation, or we're not on the right track. You have to let AI know that too. And then based on that, you get a more focused, more precision-based answer, right? Really, really important. So is my data safe? Well, it depends, right? If you have a third-party vendor out there that offers AI to you, ask them, are you first storing my question to AI? Are you storing it in your database before you give it to the neural network? Because if so, your CIO needs to make sure that that data is safe, right? But if they don't do that and you just give it straight to the neural network, which is like ChatGPT or Google Duet AI, then it really goes into the neural network. Now, the question here is that any interface I have with the neural network, and it's learning on my dime, so to speak, from me, from a company point of view, there's a lot of intellectual property that I might feed into this neural engine. So the question should be, okay, if I use your AI engine is that additional knowledge that the employees give it and feed it all the time to grow that AI child, so to speak. Is it safe? Because I don't want this to be used with my competitor. I don't want them to use it. And with OpenAI, ChatGPT, and Google Duet AI, it is safe. It is isolated when you have a paid subscription. The paid subscription for ChatGPT is about $20 a month. And for Duet AI, it's similar. There's a subscription that's similar, $20-30 a month. But it is isolated. So that neural network, then that additional portion of the neural network is not shared, according to OpenAI, with anyone else out there. And this is critical. And it's critical that also you tell your lawyers too, they need to be on top of that they have, that is in writing, right? Really, really important, because else we can't compete anymore. That would be really, really bad for us. But in a nutshell, AI is the knowledge that exists. It's those green dots that we see here. And you give it data and out comes something different. But it's also data. You can use that as data, and you can then use that operationally to, for efficiency gains and what have you. But it's basically, and only data is only as good as the question asked on the front end. So chunk in, chunk out. But sometimes, as I said before, because it's still a 3-year-old child, quality data in could also mean chunk out on the other side. So you have to be careful. You have to have a process in place, from an engineering point of view or from an organizational point of view, to make sure that somebody validates that. Okay. Here's a big one. 90% of people in the United States feel that their job is in jeopardy, that basically they're going to lose their job in the next 5 to 10 years because of AI. I have to be honest with you. I don't quite believe it. I think there are some jobs, yes, they're going to be eliminated by AI, maybe more on the legal side and contract reviews and things like this and things like that. And there's some information already out there from Harvard Business Review in terms of what they're thinking, what jobs might be impacted first to second. But I wouldn't worry too much about it yet. I think right now, from a corporate worker point of view, there's taking advantage of AI to outfit yourself with superpowers, so to speak, right? Do more with what you already have and start elevating your abilities to become highly visible in your organization, which then screams promotion, obviously, which is great, right? But use AI as a competitive advantage, even for your own profession, to do more with what you already have, right? Even if you're an entrepreneur and you have your own business and you see clients, let's say you design websites or you cut videos for YouTube, use AI, because you can do a lot more websites or YouTubes and charge a lot more or excite a lot more customers faster that way. The only part, and I'm a little bit in engineering. I do a lot of product engineering and product strategy in my career. The one thing I do see, however, is the product engineering, software development probably is going to be one of the first ones that are going to be impacted, because we just did this actually. We just used Microsoft Copilot and Bubble.io to write software products for us, and they worked incredibly well. But they worked only as good as the requirements we fed it, right? Which is also really important. But it's quite amazing how this works. So I will probably think that developers not necessarily going to lose their job, but again, the expectation might be that they have to develop more with what they already have, right? Do more. Okay. But in general, I would not worry about the 90% out there. The other thing I also urge you not to worry about is like the Skynet example from the movie The Terminator, where AI is being hooked up with the nuclear weapons. Don't even go there in your mind. It's a waste of time. I don't think we're going to ever allow that to happen. But you hear a lot of that on YouTube these days when you start Googling AI. So I was thinking, maybe let's look at a little demo and have a demo prepared, and how can we use AI as a competitive advantage, right? And then also the other thing I want to talk about is what I show you right now could be leveraged as a good story within the organization, where as a leader, you can then start promoting that, tiny early wins, using AI, maybe making it safe for your innovators in the organization to start leveraging AI by you as a leader actually showing off how you formulated an email with AI, or how you created a PowerPoint presentation with AI, or just an image, right? Those are early opportunities for you as a leader to kind of walk the path and make it safe for the organization to buy into AI. And if you are a CTO or CIO, make sure you work with your chief information security officer on getting the proper security policy in place first. So don't go there and tell them all of a sudden it's safe, we can do it. I say first get your ducks in a row in terms of security policy and what have you. But with that, I'm going to switch over to another screen here. Let me just share my browser here. And I prepared some demos here. So when you have a subscription for ChatGPT, which again, I said is about $20, it's through OpenAI, and it's really just a browser window. And now it does run on the mobile phone also, and I use it on the mobile phone quite frequently. But there's the old version of ChatGPT 3.5, there's 4, and there's some new hooks built in. I'm not going to get into that. This is not a technical demo here. But what I did is here, I want to basically apply for a CIO job with Sutter Health, right? And I wrote this little statement down here. I want to connect with Sutter Health. I put the URL in there and inform them that I will be an ideal candidate for their CIO position. Write friendly email to the Human Resources Department, just like that. Right. And it's actually going to go out to their website. I wonder how many users they have on this right now. Okay, there we go.
Okay, thanks for that.
Subject, expression of interest. And it's just making this up. Okay, it's making it up as good as it can. And oftentimes what I noticed with ChatGPT, it sounds very eager. It's almost like a 3-year-old child again that wants to get the candy. It's, oh, mommy, puppy, this is really awesome. If I do this right, can I get some candy? Right. And it sounds quite enthusiastic about things, which sometimes is not as professional as you want to. But here you can tell that I didn't tell it that I worked for Intuit, GenMed, and IBM Watson Health, which is true. I didn't tell it that. How does it know that about me? Well, I use ChatGPT so much, and I've been using it for over a year now, that it knows so much about me that it just inserts all of this. It even knows that I actually did reach 160 million patients globally and these kind of things. So it's writing this email in real time, and it even tells them to connect to Twitter. I'm not sure I would do this in a conversation like this. It wrote the whole thing for me. It's a little bit long, but if it has words in there, I would be thrilled and what have you. And it sounds very enthusiastic, almost too enthusiastic. So let's say I kind of like it. It's a good start, but I say, do not sound too eager. Use a friendly, professional tone. Conclude the email with a request for an introduction in the next week or so. And that's the conversation you want to have with ChatGPT. This is where so it's going to rewrite the whole thing, considering my input. This is called cognitive feedback. And now it's trying to incorporate this, right? And now it's more friendly here. See, I hope this message finds you well. It's more professional. The way it's writing it right now, I'm writing to express my interest. As I see a harmonious alignment between Sutter Health, esteemed reputation for patient care. How does it know Sutter Health is in patient-centered care? It got it from the website. And it's putting a little bit of my background in there again. This time it didn't add the 100, but it also added that I dealt with 88,000 providers across various healthcare domains. Okay, wonderful. I like it. And I like that ChatGPT gets to understand me a little bit better, which is also very helpful, so I don't have to repeat myself over and over again. And then I'm open to a conversation to explore this potential synergy further. Would it be possible to arrange an introductory meeting at the convenience in the coming week? This is exactly what I just told it to do, but it used its own words to kind of formulate that, right? I still don't like the Twitter thing. I'll probably take this out there after. But again, this is a good demo on how to quickly get off the ground with an introductory letter. So it used to take a long time for me to formulate these letters. Now I can get some quick ideas from ChatGPT in a few seconds, and I can take this and reformulate it, make it my own, so to speak. But it definitely saved me a lot of time to do so. The other demo is I found this article out here, 5 culture trends for 2023. And I want to talk to the ELT about this, or I want to have a blog post about this. So I actually went ahead and I asked ChatGPT, summarize this article in 1 paragraph. And it went out there and it read the article for me and it summarized it. And it produced a 1-paragraph summary of this article for me, all right? That this article is about meaningful work purpose, work-life balance, and foster community through recognition. Again, this is a quick way to cheat a little bit, where there's this long article. You don't have time to read the whole article. You just want to walk away with it. Just give me the nuggets of this article so I can quickly have a conversation on this. It's a wonderful way to go to a networking event, by the way. So if you go to a networking event, you want to talk about recent events, well, go to their website, whatever that chapter that you're going to talks about, get a summary of what they've been up to over the past months, and go fully loaded into this networking event, and you're going to be a hero out there. The other thing I wanted to show you, ChatGPT now has the ability to create images. I literally, this morning, just put in 2 cats playing in 1950, and it produced these 4 images. They look amazingly real using the DALL-E engine. I know there's other engines out there as well, but this is amazing, right? And if there's anything I don't like about these images, like the cats looking at the mouse, I can say, remove any focus on a mouse, and it will remove that from me. What does it do in a professional life? Well, I used to have an expensive subscription to get stock photos. You don't need that anymore. You just pay the $20 for ChatGPT, and you can get any stock photo you want, and it looks real, like you can almost like a human. And I can use it for presentations and what have you. The other thing I wanted to show you is Google's engine. It's called Google Duet AI. It's baked into the mail client, the presentations, Google Sheets, and everything else. And Microsoft has the same thing called Copilot. It can automatically create PowerPoint presentations for you and create a balance sheet and income statement out of just data for you within Excel, right? But what I want to do here is I would like to write an email. And I want to do a thank you email for a job interview with IBM for the role of CTO. And again, it's just something quickly to get started. It has no idea about the role, but it makes it all up. Look at this. Thank you for taking time to interview me for the CTO position. And then it makes something up. I was particularly interested in the company's focus on innovation and its commitment to using technology to solve real world problems. I didn't tell it to do that. It didn't go anywhere. How does it know that, right? This is a assumption. So be careful whether you want to take this right out of the box or you really want to focus on things you kind of dealt with. But then also I was impressed by the caliber of candidates that I met during the interview process. I personally would never say this. I would probably change that sentence, but it's amazing what it thinks. But again, it's a 3-year-old kid that's trying to impress you. When we want to sound professional, you have to take out the impression a little bit. So I'm going to say formalize this maybe more. So I clicked on formalize. Still looks the same. What if I want to shorten it? There you go. It just shortened it. Maybe that's better. Not too much out there, right? But it's quite amazing what you can do. It works with replies to emails. Quite nice. You get an email from somebody and you just say reply to the email. And that's all you say, and it just replies to it. It's quite amazing how well it works. It actually saves me a lot of time. One thing I wanted
Oliver, can I interrupt just for a quick second? Because I think I'm going to ask the question that's probably on a lot of listeners' minds, which is, how much editing do you do after? Because kind of from an organizational perspective, our stance has been start with AI, don't finish with AI.
How much editing you do after? Very little, a minute or so. It really depends. I try to always generate something that's really short, very, very brief. And I have my own little post somewhere where it kind of creates something brief. Most important for me, Danielle, is to make it sound actually me saying that. And there's just a lot of words that these show off words and what have you, and words like impressed and thrilled and things like this. I don't use these words. I use different words. So it really depends on how much AI generated for me. But I kind of go through, skim it quickly, and just want to make sure that it sounds more like me. But I do send it quite quickly though, because I've been using it for so long now. It's just often I just send it out quite quickly.
So it's learning from you each time you make edits.
It's learning my style. I think, absolutely. Yeah, it's learning my style. I've got one more demo. Okay. And let me start a new chat here. And I want to show you how ChatGPT is just making stuff up. So let's say you're in product management and you want to get new ideas for a new product in the world, right? So I think there's a new product idea. Create a new product idea for wireless communication similar to the mobile phone and radio. This new product should be used by people on the moon communicating with people on Earth. I think everybody wants it. I think it's going to be great. But I don't know how to do it. ChatGPT, what you got? Oh, it came up with a name already too. It calls it Lunar Link, a deep space communication device. I love this, right? And it's already going into design and features and all sorts of things. I'm going to show you one more trick though. So it's building out basically the whole product backlog for me here. Wow, these are all the features it's going to have. That's quite amazing. Quantum encryption. I don't even sure we have quantum computing yet, but it's making it up. It's telling us you need to use quantum encryption for that, right? And already gives me use cases on how to actually sell it to the customers and go out there. So it really wants me to be successful. But what I'm really interested in as the techie guy, I say, make it more technical. So be more technical. Let's see what happens here. Oh, wow. Signal modulation. Neuralink will employ a blend of phase and amplitude modulation. I don't even know what that is. Frequency bands. I don't know what that is. It actually determined the frequency bands already for me, which is just, it's crazy when you think about it. Solar panels and batteries. So it's clearly thinking about how this thing can be powered, right? On the moon has access to the sun. We have access to the sun. And it just goes nuts. And it's really, really funny. But now look at this. It says EMR integration. Now, why would it do that? Because it's me, Dr. Oliver Degnan, asking it. I'm an EMR guy. It knows that I build 4 EMRs in my world. Those are healthcare electronic medical record systems out there. And it knows that that's what I'm doing. So it actually gave me an HL7 Fire interface, which is the right interface, by the way. Quite amazing what it does. So again, gotta be careful, right? So I don't say as a product manager, go and come up with your product ideas that way, but it's a cool way to play with it. And who knows how much of this is going to stick, and actually there's a stickiness factor to it, and you actually take it with you and maybe shine as a product manager. But I thought I'm going to show this off too. It's kind of funny when you think about it, but that's it for the demo for me.
Oliver, that was fabulous and fascinating. Just so interesting that it also included the EMR. My guess is, I will share that there was a comment that someone's already ready to buy a Lunar Link. So thank you for that demo.